This is the Anbernic RG405M, a beautiful little Android-based emulation handheld, and currently one of the very best of its kind on the market. The M in its name stands for metal, which is what its silver shell is made of, giving this device a very premium feel. With a price of roughly $170 US, the RG405M has a bit of a higher barrier of entry when compared to other handhelds I've reviewed on my channel so far. But that being said, I've been unable to put this device down ever since it arrived 2 weeks ago. From late night sessions of classic Resident Evil games in bed, to trying out all kinds of Mario 64 hacks, also while laying in bed, this device has so much to offer. So now that you know I love this thing, let me get a couple of not so great things out of the way just really quick. First up, the SD card. My unit came with an SD card completely set up and loaded with tons of games for every system. A lot of people love this about these consoles, but I've always personally preferred to put my own ROMs on these devices just to remove a lot of the games that I'll never play that are just taking up space. It's a pretty widely known fact that the SD cards packed in with all of these emulation consoles, not just this one, no matter who you buy them from, are going to be cheap and prone to corrupting, and unfortunately that's exactly what happened to me this time. I decided to be lazy and just use the SD card that came with the console, even though I usually go out and buy my own, and when I was moving things around on it, the thing corrupted and I had to go out and buy my own anyway. Honestly, I'm not really even upset that this happened because now I have everything all organized and set up exactly the way I want it, but just let this be a warning to those who refuse to put any effort into setting these devices up. I mean, come on guys, it's really time for you to learn how to drag and drop files onto an SD card. It's not that hard. Yeah, that's right. I see you in the comments asking if these consoles come with the Pokemon ROM hacks pre-installed. Trust me, you'll get a lot more enjoyment out of these devices if you just get over that mindset of not wanting to put any kind of effort into setting them up. But anyways, with that aside, my only other issue with this device is GameCube and PS2 emulation. And really, this also isn't that big of a deal to me either, because yeah, it would have been nice if I could reliably play my PS2 and GameCube library on this little thing, but from what I knew about this device in terms of specs, my expectations weren't really too high going in terms of emulation for these consoles. The performance of these consoles can be quite a mixed bag. For example, I was testing out Pikmin 1 and it ran almost flawlessly with nothing more than a bit of audio crackling here and there, and it really wasn't even noticeable. Then I tried out Luigi's Mansion, and it was just straight up not good. The frame rate was all over the place, and the light from the flashlight was just this big yellow cone, and objects, including Luigi himself, are just constantly popping in and out of existence. Not really the best way to play this game. This is all running on the stock firmware, by the way, so if there is some kind of fix, let me know in the comments below. But honestly, I'm so happy with the way everything else runs on here that I'm fine with just waiting till some other device comes out that can play GameCube and PS2 perfectly. Because at this point, it seems like there's a new handheld coming out every month, and they just keep evolving. It's only a matter of time before running GameCube and PS2 becomes the standard for these devices. I really can't believe just how good of a device this is for Nintendo 64 though. I don't exactly know why, but somehow this device runs N64 better than my PC can. Games that are famously hard to emulate, like Conker's Bad Fur Day and the Banjo-Kazooie games, run perfectly on here. If you're looking for a portable Nintendo 64, this is it. You could literally remove the ability for this handheld to play any other console and just sell it as a handheld Nintendo 64, and for me, it would totally be worth it. I have this thing loaded up with every Mario 64 hack I've ever wanted to play, and they all work perfectly. I could literally spend the next few years only playing Mario 64 hacks on here, and I would be so happy. And the same goes for all of the wonderful Zelda, Paper Mario, Mario Kart, and Super Smash Bros. Hacks for the Nintendo 64. The modding community for N64 is huge, and I feel like I miss out on so many of the cool fan-made experiences because I'm not really a huge fan of sitting at my computer to play games. But now, thanks to the RG405M, I have a convenient way to catch up on all of these incredible fan games. And even if you're not interested in all the crazy ROM hacks and fan games out there, there's no denying how cool it is just to have every N64 classic running on a device that is this portable. It really is a childhood dream come true. And like I said before, with how quickly these retro handhelds are evolving, I'm sure that by next year, I'll be saying the same thing about GameCube and PS2 emulation. I mean, just look at how well Dreamcast games run on here. After playing through a bit of Sonic Adventure, I didn't notice a single issue. And I know this game like the back of my hand. Trust me, I would notice. And the same can be said for literally every other Dreamcast game I tested on here. I'm personally planning on using this handheld mainly for 3D games like PS1, PSP, N64, and Dreamcast, but as expected, all of the old 2D consoles work perfectly on here as well. I particularly enjoy playing GBA games on here. This horizontal design really reminds me of the original model of the GBA, which I love because that was my first handheld back in the day. So there you have it, my initial impressions of the RG405M. I am feeling extremely positive about this thing, and I highly recommend one if any of you out there are looking for a retro handheld. If you don't have one, this is a great first one, or if you have something like the Mii Mini, which I also love, this would be a great upgrade if you're looking to play games like PSP, Nintendo 64, and Dreamcast on the go. If you'd like to get yourself one of these from my good friends over at Mech DIY, who, again, thank you guys so much for sending me this unit to review, check out the link in the description and you'll be helping support the channel as well, so I would greatly appreciate that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stick around because I've got more videos like this planned. I even plan on taking a deeper look at some of the specific consoles that you can emulate on this thing, but for this video, I just wanted to give a kind of general first impressions review of this device, and I'm really loving it so far. I cannot stress that enough. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.